I think she is adjusting like any other teenage girl would be adjusting. You know, I think they really keep Jude grounded, and they kind of put a lot of things in her life that she has to deal with on a regular basis that keeps her grounded. She's adjusting. She's kind of failing at times, and I think it's kind of making her want to focus more on what she wants to do. You know, because she's doing what they want to do, and then she's realizing, well, this isn't even getting me, you know, success anyways, and this isn't really getting me anywhere, and it's not doing anything for my spirit. So I think it kind of helps her focus again on what she really wants to do and why she even began to sing and write, and why she's even doing it in the first place, you know. I think what Jude's figuring out this season is knowing when to fight her battles, knowing what battles are worth fighting for and what you kind of have to give for, you know. She's kind of given a little, but I think she's kind of feeling like she's losing her soul throughout it all, because she's, well, you know, you got to do this to get there, and you got to do this to get there, and she's kind of giving and wearing certain things that she doesn't really want to wear, and she's feeling like she doesn't want to be a diva. She wants to, you know, be Jude and be what, you know, what she is and what feels right, and then she finds herself on stage, you know, completely not herself, singing music that she doesn't want to be singing. And that's where she's like, whoa. So I think for Jude, I think you have to go through the extremes to figure out who you are and what you are and what you want to be. And I think with Jude, first season, you know, she's like, this is what I want to be, and I want to be a punk rocker. And it's like, okay, well, you're not. You're like, you know, a 15-year-old girl who's very lucky to have won this contest. And now she's kind of paying her dues. And she's writing, and she's working hard, and she's kind of tired, I think, of always listening to people around her, and she's starting to, you know, become a woman and do it her way. And that's just going to get her probably in more trouble, right? Because that's what we do. So it doesn't really parallel too much. I mean, realistically, I don't look at the show to be, I don't want the show to have any attachment to my own record and what I'm doing. I'm not in my mind joining it together. It's a blessing. This show's been a blessing because it kind of got me out there with labels, and it got me showcasing in New York. But I've been writing my own stuff with my brother. We've been down in like the studio producing and writing and working on our sound since before I even thought about acting. And even when I got into acting, it's like you need a paycheck, right, to be able to do music and buy your equipment. And I'm from a family of 10 kids, so it was like, well, I'm kind of an in-your-face kid. I'll try auditioning, and I lucked out and I ended up getting this TV show. And it hasn't taken me away from what I really want to do, which is music and have a record. And in a lot of ways, doing Instant Star, and kind of what I was saying with Jude, it kind of made me realize what I don't want to do, you know? It kind of made me realize that I don't really want to be an actor, and I don't really want to be doing other people's music, and I don't really want to be that. I want to be a true artist with a record, and that's kind of been, this year for me has just been like super busy but amazing. I signed an international deal with Capital US, and I've been in London and meeting producers, and it's like finally, you know, like the show, it's amazing, it's been a blessing, but I'm so ready to take my experiences from the show and do a real record and just focus on a record for hopefully just do records for the rest of my life. So in a lot of ways, Jude is like me, like, you know, 3 years ago. That's how I feel. Like I see Jude going through things that I was going through. It's actually kind of funny sometimes. Executive producers do a lot of writing like that. Like I did this feature film, Final Destination 3, and in an episode in season 2, Jude sings a song for a horror movie and dies in this horror movie the same way that I died in Final Destination. So they're always, I think they kind of actually watch my life and watch my path. And sometimes, you know, because it's true, like I'm kind of living, in a lot of ways I am doing what Jude is doing. You know, I'm a young recording artist in this industry, and I'm also just a girl, you know what I mean, just needing to be a girl, and I see that in Jude. Yeah, I can see it already. Like just looking at the scripts for season 3, I go back next week, and yeah, it's already like it's similar. I mean, I separate hugely, like Jude as a character is very different to me, and choices that Jude makes, and music choices, and you know, it's different than the kind of stuff that I'm into. But I can see career-wise, and that it's definitely similar. We're both young women in the industry trying to find our own sound. I guess my influences, and I'm kind of the producers that I'm wanting to work with and that I'm writing with are, you know, same producers of Annie Lennox and the Moulin Rouge soundtrack, and I love Peter Gabriel, I love Kate Bush. I was up in Leeds, England, and kind of at like the studio where they did Wuthering Heights, just like losing my mind. Yeah, I love kind of pop music, but kind of eclectic, creative pop in a way, like Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush. It's different. I've always been into that kind of music, you know, and it's cool because when I did writing for the first season of Instant Star, me and my brother wrote stuff for Jude, but that started getting really confusing, I think, for people, because then they put the songs from the show on the radio, and it's not really me, it's Jude, but I've written it, and it's like I just needed to stop writing. So for season 2 and 3, I just pulled out from writing completely and focused on potentially, on my own record and stuff. And it's just very pop, kind of Annie Lennox. I'd hope to do that, have a long career as a vocalist. I grew up in Maple Ridge, actually. I was born in New West. I'm in the middle of 10 kids, very creative, loud family. Yeah, I miss them when I'm gone, you know. I leave and I'm all over the world, and it's like I feel like my team, where is everybody? But my brother Matt, actually, I think he does the Best of BC, and he's an actor and he's a script writer and he's a phenomenal writer and sending scripts down to LA and doing all that stuff. And my brother Brendan's a producer, and he actually got the deal with me, so we're both signed with Capitol US because he's just an amazing writer and going forward for his publishing deal. And my brother Andy is a karate instructor. My dad's a karate instructor, so we all had to do karate growing up to make it look like he had more students. I hated karate, but I had to do it. And my sister Jan is an actress living in Toronto, and we're all just very kind of all over the place, but my family really embrace the arts and being creative. In the middle of all these kids, it's kind of like it was my shtick, you know, like I'm the singer, I'll get on the table and sing, and I loved entertaining, and my brother Brendan loved producing, so that was just kind of a natural. We get along, and he's 23, and we kind of just started writing, and I was kind of learning production, and he was producing, and it kind of, it's just always kind of been a part of my life. Music. My family's very musical. My dad always had like the 50s records on, Roy Orbison, and I just kind of grew up around, you know, some of my brothers were like huge kind of punky kids into that kind of punk scene, and I was kind of getting bits of that, and musically it just kind of, I don't know, it kind of created all of these really interesting, weird characters in my family that are all very creative and artsy.